Hello everybody! Woohoo! Thankful, oh no, it's not Thankful Thursday. It's our Satsang. I was waiting for those pop-up boxes and they didn't come, but that's because there was a bit of a pause. Well, as you can see tonight, it's just me, Christina. Audrey is having a wonderful holiday and a well-deserved holiday in Nelson, New Zealand, which is a great place to go if you haven't been there before. So it's our July Satsang, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. Now I'm just going to roll the screen up so I can see if there are people making comments. If you're here, say hi. Oh, I've got a comment. I'm not quite seeing them. Oh, it's from Audrey. Hello, beautiful Audrey. Yay! So good to see you. And well, I can't see you, but so good to know that you're here with me tonight. Alrighty, so we are talking about how to treat and relieve back pain with yoga tonight. So I think before we get into it, we'll start with the centering, because we always like to start with the centering. It's such a good practice just to bring us back into ourselves, bring us back into our bodies, and that is one of the ways that yoga can help treat and relieve back pain is by actually getting us back into our bodies and getting us more connected to who we are and how we feel. So how about you take a comfortable seat wherever you are. I've got my feet on the mat, on the floor. I'm sitting on a chair, and I'm still going to roll my thighs back and apart. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as we come into the Satsang, and just lengthen through the sides of your body and gently take the shoulders back, pull the pubic bone to navel, and just close your eyes and focus in on your breath. Inhale deeply all the way down into your belly, and exhale fully. Inhale through your nose, and as you inhale, just soften and feel into your body. And as you exhale, just gently allow the exterior, your muscles, your jaw, just to soften over the interior of who you are. And as you breathe in, if you feel any places of tension or holding or soreness in your body, just breathe into that place. And as you exhale, just imagine the tension melting away. Inhaling, just breathing into any places where you hold physical or emotional tension. And then exhale, just soften into that place and allow it to just dial back a notch. And let's just gently begin to wriggle our fingers, roll our shoulders, and inhale. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Always feel so much more grounded after a wonderful centering. And the beauty about centering is it just takes a minute or two, maybe three. If you're feeling flustered, if you're feeling a little bit stressed, or something's just gotten to you, you can take a few moments. You have complete permission to take a few moments and just close your eyes and focus on your breath. And with every exhalation, just imagine your body softening over this brightness and fullness of the inner being of who you are, which is really just peaceful and calm and happy. Alrighty, so tonight we're talking about how yoga can relieve back pain. And it's such a big topic, and I don't know if you know, well, you probably do know, because I know that some of our information that we've provided has let you know that back pain is the leading cause, the leading reason that people visit their doctors, and it's also the leading reason that people are being prescribed painkillers, and some quite powerful painkillers. And we have, I think, something like 58% of the American population are on pain relief medication, which is, I remember hearing Dr. Wayne Dyer give that statistic and saying, what is it about living in America that's so painful for so many people? And I thought, wow, that's an interesting question and an interesting perspective on the need to have prescription medicine prescribed to manage your physical pain. So from a metaphysical perspective, pain in the body quite often is trapped emotion or linked to something that's happened in the past that we haven't quite worked through. I'm not going to go into that because I'm not an expert in that. That's not my field of training. But my field of training is in how we can align the body and use some techniques, really easy tips and tricks from yoga to help us overcome that pain so that we don't need to live with medication to get us through the day. So I don't know, has anyone out there, show me in the chat, has anyone actually had to take pain I'll write the answers. Okay, you write the answers. Thanks, Audrey. Has anyone who's out there actually taken pain medication for treating any kind of pain in their body? You might have hurt your back, you might have hurt your shoulders, you might have, whatever it might be. Has anyone out there in Satsang land? Just write it in the comments. Give me a like if you have. Let me know if you've ever had some pain and if you've had to take some medication to support the pain. I know that I've told the story, but after having children, I carried both my children on my right hip. Really wise decision. It ended up lowering my right hip, slightly twisting it, and creating a bit of sciatica. So I've had to do a lot of work to heal that. And even now, 18 years, my son's just 18 now, I still have to kind of do some work in my right sacroiliac joint just to keep that secure and keep that safe. Alrighty, so our I'm going to follow the 4-week themes of our Yoga to Transform course. Now, I don't know if anyone's answered. It's quite hard for me to, I'm sitting a little bit far. Hi, Jackie. I hope you're well. Lovely to see you here. Hi, Mark. Hi, Audrey. Thanks for saying hi. So in our Yoga to Transform back pain course, over the 4 weeks, we cover 4 different topics. So the first topic is soften to release the pain. And we'll get into that soon, what we can do about that. The second topic is develop core strength. And we'll talk a little bit about that soon as well. And then the third topic is become more mobile. So keep the joints moving because we're born to move. But when we're in pain, that's when we start gripping and we stop moving. So become more mobile. And then the 4th week, it's about introducing more variety into the type of movement that you do, but making it fun because you need to be like the motivation is that it will bring pleasure into your pain. Because most humans, we do either one of 2 things. We move towards pleasure or we move away from pain. So we're avoiding pain or moving towards pleasure. And when we're in the grips of intense pain, it can be quite hard to do either of those things, right? Because it is really debilitating. And we do start the Yoga to Transform back pain course asking the question, what impact is your back pain actually really having on your life? What is the cost of this pain to you? Because I think sometimes we try to minimize how much of a significant impact it is having on us. So maybe you can tell me in the comments, and sorry that I keep getting up and down, what is the impact of the pain in your life? Hi Lynn, oh that's good that you haven't had any pain. Yes, awesome. So what has the impact been on any kind of physical pain in your life so far? So I'm going to start by talking about how softening to release the pain. It's one of the first principles of Anusara Yoga. We talk about pause, soften, and feel. All right, so we have there's so many different ways and varieties of ways that you can support your body to soften and release tension. I'm going to start with one which is a natural medication, which is magnesium supplements. So I take magnesium supplements, and did you know, I mean, there's other things you could take. You could take turmeric. They say calcium's quite good. If you want to take a supplement, I recommend talking to your doctor as a starting point. But I went out to the chemist and just bought some magnesium. It helps with my sleep, but it also has helped with my pain management, because magnesium is really vital for helping the muscles to soften and relax. We need potassium and magnesium for the contraction process and the relaxation processes of our muscles and helping them move and support. Now, what most of us don't know is that the New Zealand soil doesn't actually have a lot of magnesium in it. So most Kiwis are actually magnesium deficient. So taking magnesium supplements, or even spraying magnesium spray or rubbing magnesium onto the area, does help with relaxing and soothing your muscles. It's also really great. I really actually do take it to support my sleep. So this one's Go Magnesium Sleep, but it's the same as anything else, right? So taking a supplement can help just get the right minerals and vitamins into your body, and unfortunately quite a few of us are deficient in those areas. Another thing that you can do is drink antioxidant teas like green tea or ginger and turmeric, adding those in as well, or cherry tart. All of those things can help with bringing in the antioxidants that you need and softening the muscles and giving your body some extra support, so that you're just getting a little bit of internal support from the foods that you eat or the supplements that you take in to really boost your body's ability to function optimally. Alrighty, so that's tip number one. Try a yummy hot tea, try a magnesium or a calcium supplement, and take that because you need to let them build up in your system, right? So taking one tablet once or taking 3 tablets over a course of a week isn't going to solve your problem. But if you stick with it for a month, see how things feel at the end of the month. Give it a month. It's like kind of, dating. Stay committed to the dating process for at least a month. Take that magnesium supplement every single day and see what happens. Or take the green tea, or add the ginger and the turmeric to your green tea or to your milk at night and see what happens. All right, now the other thing to help soften and release pain is the good old hot water bottle. I know. So it's really, really beneficial. You can do a hot-cold treatment. I know everyone's like, hang on a minute, we haven't even started talking about yoga and how it can help. But sometimes if you're really in a lot of pain, it's really just about the gentle, like, what can I do just allow myself to release the tension and the gripping, all right? Because that sometimes, and in one of our back pain videos, sometimes there's actually not anything physically wrong with the bones in your spine or in your hips. And when they do back scans to try and find out what's happening with the cause of the pain, the 50% of people with herniated discs have pain, and 50% of people with herniated discs don't have pain. Yeah, 50% of people who have normal spines have pain, and 50% of people who have normal spines don't have pain. So sometimes there's a lot more going on than just a physical misalignment, because you can have a herniated disc and not be in pain or be in pain. So it's not necessarily about the injury or what's happening in the area. Sometimes it's about the muscle tension. Sometimes, you're gripping, you're really holding on, and that's creating spasms and tension. So hot water bottle. You can even do a hot-cold kind of treatment, if that makes sense. Hot water bottle, ice pack, hot water bottle. It helps with really relieving the tension that you might be holding in that area. And I do find that giving myself a little hot water bottle is quite a lovely, lovely experience. And then my last two things. Now, I did tell you this is where we're going to start to get a little bit interactive. I did tell you, please, if you're watching tonight, please get yourself a tennis ball, or some other kind of ball that's in a similar shape. But before we move on to that, I'm going to show you something that I absolutely love and adore. I discovered these through a woman called Donna Fahy. She's a very famous yoga teacher based here in Christchurch. And it's a muscle release ball. You can buy them at www.mymrball.com. So we don't sell these, we don't get any kickbacks for these, but these, we use these in our Yoga to Transform Back Pain course, and these really help soften and soothe the muscles. And the first week is all about softening to release the pain, and we're going to show you some moves now. So if you haven't got one, and you'll notice the muscle release ball is actually really, it's flat. There's not much air in it at all, to be honest. So we don't pump them up because we need them nice and flat to be working into the, actually feel like this one might be a little bit too flat, to be working into the places that need the support and the guidance. So shall we come to our yoga mats? You'll see that I've got my trusty piano stool, because I'm going to show us some variations. I have my two blocks. I have a bolster, which you can use some pillows. I have a blanket, a belt, and a ball. And I have my muscle release ball. So, okay, let's start with the ball. Now, the other day after a yoga class, one of my students came up to me and she said, I'm getting real pain just here in my lower back. And I said, tell me a little bit more about it. And she told me what was going on. And I said, do you have a tennis ball at home? And she said, yes, I do. And I said, well, go home, grab your tennis ball, and place it at the place where you feel the pain and give it a good massage. So another great way to soften to release pain is to go and see a massage therapist. And again, one massage isn't going to help, or an acupuncturist. I see an acupuncturist and a massage therapist. But you can do a little bit of self-massage at home just to relieve some of the tension. So if it's at the back, you can come lying on your back, lift the hips up, place the ball in the part where you're feeling the tension, and just gently roll. Yeah, and that feels so good. Now this is, I don't know, I think it's a harder ball. It's not quite a tennis ball, but it feels so good. Now, returning to the centering practice that we did, if you've got a ball, please join me. I could stay here all night. Seriously, the next 30 minutes, I could just stay here massaging. But there have been times where I've first done this that the pain was really, really intense. So you don't want to spend 15 minutes like working into a place that's going to be really, really hard. You've got to be gentle with yourself. So this practice of learning to soften to release the pain is a practice of learning to be really gentle with yourself. So rather than like going hammer and tong at the massage area for 15 minutes and really going, oh, that's so good because I was screaming the whole time, do 5 minutes release the muscle and come back and do 5 minutes the next day or 2 or 3 hours later, and just gently allow the muscle to release. Because if you've been holding on to tension in that area for a long time, it's not going to be nice. When I first went to see the massage therapist, it was horrible. We didn't really, I didn't think that she was someone I wanted to be seeing quite regularly, but anyway, I kept going back. So you've got to stick with it. Oops, there goes the ball. Now, with the muscle release ball, there's a couple of things that you can do. So again, if we start on the back, you can just actually place the muscle release ball underneath the sacrum here and just sit here and stay here for 7 minutes. And focus on your breath. You can bring your knees together. And just like we did at the centering part of the practice, you can, I didn't bring a little towel. Let me just get a little towel. You can breathe in, and the activity is really about allowing yourself to soften into the mat and soften into the muscle release ball. So it's so important that we start allowing ourselves to soften. If you can't get your hands on a muscle release ball, I'm just going to grab a tea towel. Excuse the dirty tea towel that I've grabbed. You roll up a little towel, and we do have on our on our YouTube channel what to do if you haven't got a muscle release ball. You just roll it up like this and gently kind of pull it together. So you're creating a little circle, place it on the mat, and then lie your sacrum over that space, okay? So that it's kind of, the edges are onto the sacrum. And it's actually just quite delightful. It really is. I get into that place and I think, oh yes, I could just relax here. And that is the whole point of that softening, is learning to let go of the tension, because sometimes a lot of the pain is just coming from our own tension that we're holding. So the last thing is I like to give myself a little bit of support, and we have a whole 30-minute practice dedicated to supporting softness. Put a blanket down on the floor, grab some pillows if you don't have a bolster, and wrap a blanket around them, and grab either your towel, and we kind of run it in between the groin up over the hip, right? Or your muscle release ball, and again we place it exactly the same place, so it's kind of in the groin and up over the hip, and we come down onto the bolster. Do this side. Bend the knee and just soften and relax, right? So we're here, and you can hold this for 5 minutes, even 7 minutes, because it's not about taking a lot of activity. It's about focusing on your breath and allowing yourself to just be supported and held. Now, the reason that this is such an important pose, and it's an important way of just supporting yourself to release the tension and soften, to let go of the pain, is that we have a muscle called the psoas muscle that runs up either side from kind of the groin all the way up and comes around to the back rib here. But it gets really tight and tense. So we have to learn to release that and soften that. And I tell you, that was life-changing for me, particularly with my right sacroiliac kind of niggles that I've had, to just spend 7 minutes either side doing that. So we run you through a beautiful workout in the first week of our back pain course. And I tell you, I did this over a weekend with Donna Fahy, and so much pain just left my body. It was beautiful. So that is the top tips to soften, to release pain. Easy, simple things you can do at home, right? Take magnesium supplement, drink turmeric and ginger tea with green tea, take some cherry tart tea, get some antioxidants into your body. Massage the area with a ball. If you've got a friend at home who might massage you, get them to massage you. And then lastly, use something like a hand towel, or if you want to commit to buying a muscle release ball, do that and just lie on that sacrum area and then lie on the front and allow the psoas to really soften and release. Okay, so that's softening to release the pain. It's so important because I think we are such an action-oriented world today that we go straight into how can I fix this? And sometimes it's actually, what can I do to soften, pause, and feel this so that I can just let go of the tension that's creating the pain in my life right now. Alrighty. So then the next thing, and now I'm all excited because now we're going to get into the core. So if you've watched the Thankful Thursday that we put up, what Audrey and I talked about is that the core, a lot of back pain is actually caused by a weak core. Now the back is the erector spinae at the back, that the long muscles that run up the back of the spine here are a part of the core, but there's 4 muscle groups that are your core kind of muscles. So the top of the core is the diaphragm, right? And we talk a little bit about how breathing, like a lot of us, the core gets quite rigid because we're not breathing properly. So the top of the core is the diaphragm. The bottom of the core is the perineum, or the pubic kind of diaphragm. And then we have the erector spinae at the back, and then we have our abdominal muscles at the front. Now, when you go to the gym and you're working out, most of the time what you're working is the really sexy muscles at the front, like we all want the six-pack, but it's actually the transverse abdominis, which is these really, there's 4 layers of the abdominals, and it's the lowest layer that we want to be strengthening and supporting to create core strength. Now the beauty of a yoga practice, and this is what got me into yoga to start with, I was seeing an acupuncturist because I was in so much pain, and I'd been going to the gym and I'd been running and I had been thrashing my body. The beauty of a yoga practice is it's actually nourishing and gentle and supportive while also being strengthening. And the acupuncturist happened to also be a yoga teacher, and she said to me, you need to do yoga to strengthen your core. Because you do not have a strong core, and that's what's creating a lot of the pain in this part of your body. All right, so shall we do some core strengthening exercises? I knew you'd say yes. Now, if you have your pillows, or a big fat pillow, or a bolster, bring it kind of halfway down the mat, right? Grab a block or a book or something that you can put between your legs. It could even be a pillow as well, something that you can squeeze in, and just make your way onto your back. All right, now when we're starting with building our core strength, it doesn't need to be big, particularly when we're getting into this transverse abdominis. We want to get into the lower core. Now you'll see I'm on my back, but I've got my feet on the bolster, okay? Now the point of the block is that we put it between our thighs, midway, so that way, between the thighs, right? Hug the block in, so we're engaging the inner thighs. Roll the head of your arm bones back, and I want you to just gently take your thigh bones back. We're going to get to taking thigh bones back in the introducing movement part, but if you can, just imagine, actually before we do that, let's just do a little bit of that, moving the pelvis. So as you inhale, take the thighs back and tip the pelvis down so that there's a curve in your lower back. Exhale, pull pubic bone to navel so that the lower back moves towards the floor. So inhale, the thighs kind of move backwards as the pelvis goes down and the lower back curves. Lift the pubic bone to navel. Now some of you might even be feeling this as a strengthening exercise already, right? So when I say take the thighs back, right, so we hug the block between the thighs. When I say take the thighs back, what we're doing is moving the thighs in that direction, but we're creating a curve in the lower back. I want you to keep that now and then lift pubic bone to navel. So I'm really working quite deeply already, just here with my feet here, hugging the block, thighs back, pubic bone lift to navel. I'm going to lift my arms up like I'm in ant pose, and then if you want, I want you to keep hugging your shins in as well. You can lift your feet up. You're squeezing the block, yeah. Thighs work back. The shins keep hugging in, and you lift your pubic bone to navel. Are you out there doing this with me? Hands up. I know, bad yoga joke, but I love it, and I can't help myself. I always use it. I know. I'm shaking. All right, and then come down. Woo! That was good. That was good. Okay. Should we do that one more time? No, I think you've got enough. I'm just getting into, oh, that was good. Now, we can come in. So you're learning the basics of just creating those actions of hugging into the midline, which is creating stability, taking the thighs back, lifting pubic bone to navel, which is creating the strength in the deep internal abdomen. Lift your knees up. You can bend your arms here. You can have your arms up. And the next movement is just tapping the toes or the heel onto the bolster. You're keeping that action, the curve in the lower back, pubic bone lifted to navel, and you're engaging the heel down to the bolster. Some of you, if you're a little bit stronger, you can extend the leg out a little bit longer, tap the heel to the floor. Now the point of developing core strength is that you do this over time. Yeah? So be gentle with yourself, particularly if you've been struggling with back pain for a long time. You're not going to be, don't try and be doing superhuman efforts. This is cultivating the core strength, and it's doing it over time because you can come down now. Knees come together, just go, soften and release that pain. Soften and release the tension. You've got to be really gentle with yourself and support yourself through the process of coming back to full strength. Now, the last kind of variation is if you have your muscle release ball or your hand towel, you can have the hips up, place that under the sacrum. This is creating a little less stability because you're on a wobbly surface now, yeah? Thighs back, pubic bone lifted. Whoa! Knees over hips, coming down. This is way more harder. If that's a technical term, way more harder. Let's just say that it is. Nice. Yeah. Working those lower abs. stabilizing this whole area, yeah? Strengthening the front of the back to strengthening the front of the core to give yourself the support that you need. Alrighty. Have we got any questions or comments? I know that I trust Audrey's out there. Hi Christine, how you doing? Yeah, just be gentle and look at that. Yay. Yes, pain really reduces your mobility and restricts your lifestyle. It's definitely not fun. Okay, so then as you start to progress and build back the strength in your system, you can get into adding in a bit more movement. Now they do recommend that even when you are in a lot of pain that you keep moving, because it keeps because your body's built to move. So, but obviously the last thing you want to do is be moving. Like I had a very close friend who was lying on her back looking at the ceiling for about 3 to 4 months after a back injury. So it's really hard, but you can be doing those to soften, to release the pain, and the core strengthening exercises, just gently. So movement. Now grab your trusty pillow or your block or whatever it might be. A huge part of back pain comes from misalignment. Yeah. And what we see is that we have this happening, right? Hips are thrust forward, shoulders are rounded, necks pointing forward. Yeah. This is a total recipe for weak core at the front, weak back, and heaps of pain. Really tight muscles here in the groin because they're pushing you forward, yeah, and really weak up here, and the neck's out of alignment too. So we've got some real serious problems here. So the action is to gently take the thighs back so that we're creating this curve in the lower back. Lift the pubic bone to navel to generate that transverse abdominis, yeah. Lengthen through the side of the body. Take the head of your arm bones back and get yourself into alignment. So just start paying attention as you're moving through the day. When you stop and you stand, or you're sitting, are you sitting like this? Are you standing like this? Take the thighs back. So place a block or a pillow or whatever you've got between your thighs. Tuck the back toes under and hug muscles to bones. Squeeze the block. Yeah, we get that hugging muscles to bones activates that. And take the thighs back. Nice. Now lift pubic bone to navel. Roll the head of your arm bones back. This is strong. We're still building core strength here, but we're teaching ourselves about how to stand strong and sit strong. Yeah. So when we're moving, we need to move through the world from this place of actually my ankle, my knee and my hip, and my shoulder and my ear are all in alignment. And that helps with your lower back. We also want to make sure that there's a curve in the lower back, but not too much of a curve, and that the belly is engaged too. All right, because as soon as you come here, the curve's gone. We need the curve. Yeah, the spine has its natural curvature. We've got a couple of pictures in a few of our courses that show the natural curvature of the spine, but if you want, just Google it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Alrighty. So I said I'd come to taking the thighs back when you're seated. So if you have a seat, grab one. You can even do it when you're lying down. And just take a seat. This is something you can do when you're driving your car, when you're working at work. It's so simple, so easy. No one even knows that you're doing yoga, right? You take your right hand to the inside edge of your left thigh. I'm not mirroring you. Left hand onto the outer edge of the hip, and you gently just twist it and broaden the seat bones. Then do the second side. Left hand to the inner right thigh, right hand, twist and broaden. So you're sitting now more on your seat bones, right? And you'll notice that that's created a curve in your lower back. Tuck the tailbone under, lengthen through the side of your body, take the shoulders, hips, ears in alignment, yeah? Now, the curve in the lower back, we want to recreate the curve in the lower back as much as possible so that you're creating this ability to relieve the tension, because as soon as you go into the rounding, you're collapsing, you've got no core strength here, and you're creating tension all over the place. Yeah, this is the way your body's meant to be. So by taking the thighs, what we call in, back, and apart, just turning them in and around, moving the thighs back, the legs are the governors of the lower back. So we need the thigh bones to be sitting comfortably in the hip sockets, and they're not when they're like that. They need to be sitting back, yeah, so that you're creating hollows here in the groin when you're standing. Thighs back, pubic bone under, hug muscles to bones, hug the shins in. This whole area is really well supported and standing strong and healthy. All right. So as you're moving through life, move through life with the thighs back, shoulders back, and the curve in the lower back, right? So you're just practicing walking. As yoga teachers, if we're checking out therapeutics, we ask you to walk towards us so we can see what's going on in the body. We ask you to walk sideways so we can see what's going on in the body. You can see whether you've got any postural misalignments that we could just help you with correction. All right. So movement, get the focus of the week 3 is movement by getting the thighs back, but we start introducing some yoga poses. Now, the other thing when we say legs are the governors of the body is that the hamstrings getting too tight create the tension up here as well. So we need to be giving ourselves hamstring stretches. If you've got tight thighs, folding over like this on a chair is a great hamstring stretch. You might want to walk your feet back so that it's long enough, but the focus of the action is the same as what we said before, which is hug muscles to bones, hug your shins in towards the midline, energetically move your feet away, and you'll notice the energetic movement of your feet going away takes your thighs back. Now move your thighs energetically into the hamstrings, and you'll notice as I did that, if I undo it, yeah, as I did that, that created a curve in my lower back. We want to honor that curve, but we don't want it to be a banana back, so we lift the pubic bone to navel. We've still got the curve and we've got the belly engaged, but we don't have a banana back. It's supported at the front and the back. And if your hamstrings are tight, you'll be getting a great stretch here. You can use a wall if you want as well, but we highly recommend in our Yoga to Transform Back Pain course that you actually take a strap, lie on your back, take a strap, and do this a couple of times a day. Thigh bones work back into the hamstrings. Yeah? Your leg doesn't come towards your toe, your face. Your ankle is over your hip. You work the back of the thigh back and the top of the knee here back. So the leg is straight. The first job is just to learn to straighten the leg. But the second attention is actually, and I hope you're joining in, the second attention is working the left thigh bone in towards the mat so that you're working the thigh bones back all the time, and that gives you the curve in the lower back and the lift pubic bone to navel. Yeah? And even me, who does yoga all the time, I'm feeling this. All right, second side. Strap around the ball of the foot. You're using your hands to anchor the hip bone into the hip socket, the thigh bone into the hip socket. Ankle over hip. Push the thigh bone into the hamstrings at the top of the thigh bone, this part here, and then the back of the knee as well, so that you're straightening the leg, but you're also working the top of the thigh bone and this leg down too, because we don't want like this happening, right? Because that's not really, we want the thigh bones moving back into the back plane of the body. That's going to help create the curve in the lower back and let go of a whole lot of the tension and create more freedom in your lower back. Yeah, release that. All right, bend the knees, roll over. We can stop having fun when we are in a lot of pain, and so it's really important that you introduce fun back into your life and see what you can do that will bring you some joy, because joy, when you're in a place of joy, you can't be in a place of pain. So how can you bring more joy into your life? Now, I've talked too much and we've run into the 45 minutes, but what I'm going to do is just set you up for a beautiful supported pose, particularly for people who have back pain, so that you can stay here if you want or revisit it at any time that you like. When we come, great, you'll need a chair. You'll need to pad yourself up so that the height is right, so that you can comfortably have the back of your knees resting on the chair, and you might need a blanket on the chair so that it's soft. You want to be supported and soft because it's all about softening to release the pain. Come close to your chair. Now, I haven't set myself up properly, so it's a little bit high for me, but I would normally have a stack of blankets that I would be lying on, all right, so that my torso's lifted and elevated and supported. And I'm just here, relaxing and enjoying this. If you have a bolster, it's really nice to place the bolster over the shins, just to give a little bit more anchoring. And you can even put a rolled up towel underneath your sacrum just to give it a little bit of more gentle support to release. And it's held nicely. You have the rolled up towel kind of around the top of the towels at the top of the sacrum bone, and then rolled around. Palms face the ceiling. Roll the head of your arm bones back. You can just gently focus on your breath. Breathing in and sending your healing vitality, the prana of your life force, into those places where you hold the pain and the tension. And then with every exhalation, just allow yourself to soften and let go. You can stay in this pose for 7, 10, 15 minutes. Stay as long as you like. Allowing yourself to really support the letting go of any tension. All right, now we have a special offer for our Facebook group people. Audrey placed it on the page in the group today, which is 30 off for you. So please take advantage of it. And if you sign up for our Yoga to Transform Back Pain course before Sunday, 12 p.m, you get to join a free coaching group for the month of August. And if you know someone whose life is really restricted by back pain, or they're not living to their fullest potential because of back pain, maybe give them the gift of this course. Have a great rest of your evening, and thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.